Well, folks, here we are again for the weekly forecast, and of course we dealt with the heat last weekend, and we finally seen it break apart as we got in the middle of the week as we had a cold front move through. Most of the major precipitation activity occurred between Tuesday night and Friday morning across the state. The vast majority of it, of course, was Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, where we've seen some heavy thunderstorm activity in western and northern Nebraska. Some of that did slide into southeastern and south central Nebraska during the early morning and post-sunrise hours of Wednesday morning, and then we've seen a repeat performance for another wave moving down through the Dakotas and into northern Nebraska as we were in Wednesday night into Thursday, which did lead to some significant hail in isolated locations and a couple isolated tornadoes, but that storm petered out as it moved toward the southeast and precipitation totals were much less than desired. Now the good news is that over this next 7-day period, there's 3 opportunities for precipitation. Unfortunately, 2 of them are more for western Nebraska, with 1 of them for eastern Nebraska. So let's get to the upper air models, and as we go to the upper air models, what we will notice is we do have high pressure ridge from the southern plains all the way into the central plains, have a trough over the eastern United States, and a trough trying to move into the Pacific Northwest. At the surface, there's a low over in southwestern South Dakota, high pressure firmly in control across the central and southern plains. And in terms of precipitation, most of the moisture that impacted us late in the week has now moved to the east of us and moving up the eastern seaboard. As we go into tomorrow, high pressure still remains in place, backing up a little bit, trough in the east. We do have surface low down to our south over Oklahoma, is projected to at least lift moisture up into the northern plains, and seeing some moisture across western Nebraska and western Kansas in the monsoonal flow. Now as we go into Monday, that ridge pretty much stays in place. A trough weakens somewhat. We do see some high pressure coming in, very weak as it is with the cold front that'll move through Sunday night into Monday. It's just showing some precipitation. Once again, it doesn't look as widespread as what is being depicted here. Most of it will occur in western Nebraska. And then as we get on the day on Tuesday, the trough starts to re-strengthen across the Great Lakes. High pressure comes in behind that cold front, cools things down slightly, brings much drier air into our region. There is still showing some leftover precipitation in western Nebraska, but I think the majority of this is probably overplayed. And then as we get into Wednesday, that trough starts to deepen. That's going to start pushing some of that cool Canadian air back toward the southwest, invading much of eastern Nebraska as surface high pressure starts to be in control. We do still show some precipitation, but once again, this is monsoonal flow, and it does not look to be anything associated with an active upper air pattern. And then as we get into Thursday, that trough bottoms out. That's going to bring a little bit more cooler air into the eastern half of the state under the influence of Canadian high pressure that's going to be situated over Iowa and Illinois. And we do see some precipitation breaking out, and that is basically the ridge is going to start to pull eastward, so there's going to be a warm front associated with this ridge as it progresses to the east, and some of that moisture with this ridge moving toward the east will allow that moisture to spread into eastern Nebraska. Surface high pressure system starts to move its way toward the Great Lakes. We do see precipitation indicated for Nebraska, although this again may be overdone. In terms of 8 to 14-day forecast, with that trough over the Great Lakes still pointing toward cooler than normal conditions in terms of precipitation. With that northwest flow moving into the region, we do have the opportunity for several more waves of precipitation in our region.